Give him an interview, Willie. Jethro?
The tall baby. With
He's got to go back and
mud
have
on
more.
with mud on his face.
Because the lighting's really not that bright here. Oh, that's real good right there. Hi, Jethro.
Jethro.
Jethro?
Jethro, check Uncle Matt out.
You know, I'm supposed to grab her over tongue and pull it so she can squeeze it. And I told her there's a lot of times I would have loved to jerk your tongue out.
I had to plug into your wall. Hi, Jethro.
What do you say, Hef, buddy?
Good night, Joe. Good night. Nice
Ooh, I heard something humble from what happened. No, those are Sam. You don't need a big deed anymore. You eat pretty good.
Yeah, you're a big boy now.
You're a big boy. Big boys don't have big. But I'm sure Sam will let you play with his football with you.
Marks we can't forget.
Sam will share his football with you.
You check out the little hat. Find the hat in there.
Hey, don't throw that for you. No doubt. This Sunday.
I'll catch. Wow. I'm terrible at catching. That's a great throw. Ready? Oh, good try. You did good. That was great. Put the hands together.
Hey, you got another?
Okay.
What? We need to
So don't do anything stupid. The camera's on. Don't point it at me when I'm eating. Oh no. I thought it was great.
Oh, he's carrying his bread.
You want to be April, Mommy? That's April's news camera, I guess. Okay?
Here's Willy Halbert, a fashion statement. It looks pretty scary. Andy's first day without his training wheels.
Here he is, number 69, Jethro Halbert, running away with it the whole race from the start.
This time I've been on top of the charts all year, but I think in this last one we ended up second behind Joe Kopp. But yeah, I'm getting around there real good. The tracks, I feel like I'm really hooked up, and should be a good race tonight.
The kid from Hilltop, Australia, on the point. Now it's Jethro Halbert. Now, here comes Halbert. Halbert to the inside now. Halbert on the national number 69. Harley Davidson up to the number 1 spot. Ha ha ha! half mile to go for national number 69 out of Graham, Washington. Checkered flag to Jethro Halbert. Give it up for national number 69, Jethro Halbert! Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's getting rutted and rough. It's gonna be wild. He loves it. National number 69, ladies and gentlemen, Jethro Halbert.
You guys are brothers.
Yeah.
Like, for sure?
Yeah, pretty sure. I don't know if the mailman or milkman had anything to do with it, but...
Hi everyone, Chaplain Raymond Rizzo here. I'm honored to be a part of this celebration for Jethro. Since 2010, I've been involved with the flat track community, serving as the chaplain, and Jethro is one of the unique ones. He always had a smile. It didn't matter whether he finished first or last or however he performed. He always had a smile, and I think that was really incredible. Always a quiet, gentle guy, and it really was an honor to know him. And I'm challenged to continue that legacy, that ability to look beyond performance and to be able to smile in the face of whatever's going on. And I want to say thank you publicly to God first for creating him, and for his parents, Shannon and Willie. I just am thankful for both of you and your influence in his life, and for his brothers. Each one of you have been an impact, I know. And for Ashley as well, and Caleb. We just want to say we love you, and we're praying for you, and looking forward to seeing each and every one of you in the near future. But again, thank you for this opportunity. God bless each and every one of you. Amen.
You know, he wasn't the biggest front runner all the time on the half miles and the miles, but man, them little short tracks, he was tough as anybody out there. And
Race you hard, but you know, wouldn't go in there and clean you out.
He was a smooth rider, actually. He was one of those guys that kind of caught you off guard sometimes.
He was aggressive, but he always was calculated with everything that he did. He wasn't ever gonna blindside anybody. You could always feel very comfortable racing with him.
He's always a good racer, you know. You never had to worry about him running into you, and you know, he was always safe. If there was somebody I felt comfortable riding with, it was him.
Probably polar opposite as Sammy was, which was kind of cool, you know. So fast, so talented, but you know, at the same time, just so smooth and graceful.
He was one of the most consistent racers that I've ever rode with. He never got in over his head. He never got excited. It was just like calm, cool, and collected, just smooth and fast. And it was always fun to race with him, because you know you could trust him and lean on him, and he'd lean on you. It was good times.
He was a really good competitor. You know, he seemed like he could always step it up when he needed to, and seemed like he could also be aggressive, but he could also be nice and calculated on some of the tracks where you had to go slow to go fast. So I think all around he was a great racer.
He was always just smooth as glass, man. He definitely knew how to go fast, but he was never going to do something that was you know, out of the ordinary or put anybody else into jeopardy or himself. He's just a great, fast, smooth rider.
On the track, he was pretty much the same as he was off the track. You know, he was real polite. Never did anything stupid. You know, pretty humble, and I always had a good time racing with Jethro. I knew he wouldn't do anything crazy, and he always raced me good and clean, and it was always a honest race.
Smooth as silk, I would describe him as. He's a super smooth rider, always has been. Always really patient on the track. Never gets flustered on anybody being around him or nothing. I have a lot of experience racing with him over the years, for sure. We always seem to find each other in the main events all the time and race with each other, back and forth, one another. But like I said, he's really a smooth racer and just calm, cool, collected.
Yeah, I'd say smooth as silk until he runs into you. You know, I grew up racing with them at Chowchilla and all the indoors where it's really physical, and I think I still have scars on the backside of my arm for where he runs his front wheel into it, peels all the skin off the backside of your arm, rips your jersey apart. You know, so I mean,
yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, he's been one of the guys that's always. I think he got lucky having Sam, So it's like, man, someone ran into me. It was probably Sam. Well, it wasn't me. It was Sam. But yeah, I think I've been hit harder by that guy than anybody, and it was always awesome. We'd come off the track and hug each other. It'd be a really good time, and that was every single weekend at Chowchilla.
Yeah.
Smooth, and man, he was a hell of a short tracker.
Well, he was always my best racer because he was always so smooth and stuff. I always told him that he was always smoother than anybody else.
Quiet, smooth. We always had to take teeth off for him instead of putting teeth on, and fast. Just a smooth rider. One of the smoothest riders I've seen.
He was a good racer, always clean. He was always clean. I don't think I ever saw him get in any confrontation with anybody, and it did. He apologized if he was in the wrong. He was that kind of a racer. He was always fair and never did anything rough riding or anything like that. And I respected him for that. And his skill on the short track, on the indoor, is unbelievable. When he could put his knees above his ears going the turn and have to move the handlebars over 1.5 inches further to the right so he'd get even lower, I knew this guy was serious.
He was a good racer. If he had to put a wheel on somebody, he did, but that's all part of racing.
Me and him, I think, were kind of similar, just laid back, nothing really bothers you, and hey, you want to stop, get something to eat? I don't care, it's good, so.
As laid back as you can get, I don't think you can ever rile that guy up or get him upset, You can do his laugh. You do his laugh.
He would say something silly or something, and just Jethro,
It's funny, right?
Yeah, it was funny, Jethro, you goon. He was just a goober, but I mean, he was just a big loving guy, man. He loved his family, that's for sure. He always talked about his brothers and his mom and dad. And when he moved down to San Jose, when he was riding for Dave and stuff, being away from home for a while, that sucked at first. So we spent a lot of time at my house, and we hung out, got to know each other a lot more outside the track, personally and stuff like that. It was really cool. And like I said, he's a really cool guy. I love him to death, man. I'm gonna miss him a lot, that's for sure.
Off the track, Jethro was kind of the same. He would have his aggressive days on the track, but off the track, he'd do anything for you. Take the shirt right off of his back.
A lot like he is on the track, just calm, cool, and collected, Mr. Cool all the time. Always super nice with a smile on his face and
easy going. Couldn't help but not like the guy. It just went with the flow, and was just happy to be at the racetrack.
He is the first guy that came up to me right when I turned pro. He's always been there for me. If I ever needed help, he'd come up and help me. And if I'm having a bad day at the track, he'll tell me how to make it better.
He was just someone that everybody could look up to, whether you were a young kid looking up to him whether you're on a 50 or you're one of his closest competitors to possibly being his mechanic. Just his persona and the way he held himself, being so humble and polite and soft-spoken about everything, everybody liked Jethro. There wasn't one person that disliked Jethro. I was one that looked up to Jethro big time. He was my childhood racing hero. Got to travel to a lot of races with him and grow up watching him. He was a great role model for me and a lot of other people.
He was a quiet dude. He was a really quiet dude.
Just a real humble guy. I mean, a guy that was just quiet, kind of did his own thing and came and raced hard and went home and always went home with a smile on his face. He just always had that real way laid back, theme to him for sure. And
he just did it for fun, I believe. It wasn't always about everyone getting caught up in sponsorships and making a good image and everything like that. He always just came to the racetrack to race. It wasn't anything more than that.
It's cool that we got to spend a lot of time with Jethro, and off the track and on the track. I mean, off the track, Jethro was a super cool guy, laid back, just like his writing was, I guess, laid back and wanted to have a good time, and just simple as that.
He was awesome. He always smiled, always had a, you know, you could always count on him saying hey or shaking your hand or talking about what's been going on at home, you know, with the family. He was always had a really good personality and had a smile on his face.
Thing on the track, it wasn't all about the persona or him being in the limelight or, you know, trying to really gain anything from it. It was just about coming and being at the racetrack, and he kept to himself a lot of the times, you know, just kept it cool and was always real casual, and he'd always be one of my boys I'd go find wherever the heck he'd be hiding, and you know, usually it'd be just him and Ashley and Caleb, or you know, him and a couple other people, but he was always just pretty soft-spoken and great guy to talk to. I've never ever had a crossword with him, except for maybe one time down in Daytona when Brad and Sammy got into it out on practice day, and of course the brothers were sticking up for the brothers, and other than that I can't think of any time we ever got at each other, and then after that it was like it never happened, you know. He was always just a great guy off the track.
I had a lot of fun traveling with him. He didn't mind driving all day, so I could drive all night, and that worked out really well. He didn't complain about the food we stopped and ate, and it was really, we listened to the same classic rock on the radio, so it was a lot of good times.
Quiet, to himself. Basically, that was Jethro.
He was a good kid, you know, always polite, always thanked you for everything. He was always there if you needed his help. He was just an all-around great guy. I like hanging around him off the track because he was a nice kid, you know. He was a real good father. He loved his son and Ashley. He really started to enjoy his family life. He loved living in Salinas with Ashley and Caleb, and he was very, very family-oriented. Very family-oriented. Loved to be hanging around family. He wasn't racing. He was doing something with the family, and that's what he did. He went to work to be with his family, and the racing was secondary once he got together with Ashley and Caleb came along, you know, and he took that being a father to Caleb very serious.
My first time ever riding the Open A class, he rubbered up my number plate pretty good, and I, you know, he was a big hero of mine, and I went over and had him sign it, and you know, it's still hanging in my garage to this day.
You know, every lap felt a tire on my boot, every lap, you know, and look back one lap, you know, it's just, you know, number 69 in my face the whole time, just rubbing on me the whole race. And
I remember the very first time we raced San Jose indoor, and it was concrete, of course, and we were dicing it up. I was leading it, and he came in, and man, he like wobbled me pretty good out of the way, stood me up. I mean, it was indoor, it was clean, you know, and he went off to win the race, and I don't know, I finished like third or something, but I just remember, you know, dicing it up one of them little short tracks with Jethro, bumping bars and banging bars, and you know, always, you know, clean. I mean, he was a good, clean, solid racer, and enjoyed to always race with him because he always brought his best.
Like short tracks and stuff, he wasn't scared to move you out of the way, that's for sure. Yeah. But come off the track, he'd always have a smile. You know, it was never do anything dangerous or nothing. It would move you out of the way, and that was it. You know. But
even if he went out there and sucked and got dead last, man, he'd come off the track in a good mood. That's just the kind of guy he was. It's crazy. I mean, I come off the track pissed off, I'll admit it. Like, if I don't do good, it sucks, you know. I put a lot of time into it and stuff. It just sucks when you don't do good, but Jethro just keeps a smile on his face at all times, and it's cool how he looks at life like that. It was awesome to be a part of him, for sure.
Yeah, I got to race with him. He raced my bike for a season. I got hurt and stopped racing for a little bit, and got to go to the races and tune for him and stuff. And I remember we went to Castle Rock and didn't have the best bike for him, you know, at the racetrack. Showed up, the thing had no front brake on it. He had to put it on himself, and it was kind of dirty and didn't make much power and stuff like that. He's, oh, cool, man, I'll put the brake on, no big deal. Goes out there and he qualified second fast, won his heat, got second in the dash, and got fourth in the main event. You know, and the guy did excellent. Come off the track, and the bolts holding the front brake on were falling off. He's like, huh, good thing I don't ever use the front brake, or that probably wouldn't work very good. And just pumped, you know.
Yeah.
Anybody else would have had a bad attitude.
At Salinas GNC short track, where he won his heat race and won the dash for cash and finished fourth in the main event after a battle with his little brother, who he lost the last podium spot to. But it was all in all, it was a solid day on an older motorcycle, and we came away there with some good money and good points, and got to get on top of the podium and interviewed with Barry.
Sammy was saying how, man, I won this race here and won this race here, and Jethro was second, or Jethro was third, and he started getting irritated and stuff, and he stopped us all and looked over at Sam and said, and you don't beat me all the time, Sam. And so it had us cracking up.
With Jethro being older back in the Formula USA days, it was the cool bus, and then all of a sudden, holy shit, this Jethro guy's fast, and he come out of the cool bus. So that's always my memory for the Halberts.
Actually, not last year, a year before, Jethro went with me to Springfield, just me and him and my wife in my van. And that was a fun trip too, just us three. And of course, Jethro all calm and collected, wanting to have a good time and laughing at everything and not stressing about the races. Now he goes, I'm all stressed out, nervous about the mile. Yeah, it's all right, man. We're just gonna go out there and have fun, go around circles. You know, that's how Jethro was. But I don't know. I just got so many good stories with the guy. I'm so happy to be able to know him and be that close to him. So
you could tell when something happened to him. Facebook just went crazy because everybody likes Jethro, man. It was just, everybody liked him, man. He didn't have a mean bone in his body.
Anytime I was with Jethro, we always had a good time. There was never a bad time with Jethro Halbert. It's really, he's one of the hardest persons I've lost. Yeah, so far in my life. Miss you, Jethro. Love you forever. Rest in peace.
One never thought back then, riding in the coal bus at 6 and 8 years old, that we'd all be here together, national numbers riding together, and still growing up together 17 years later. And I think those are my best memories, is just chilling with Jethro.
Slippery, that'll work better for me. If it gets deep and gnarly, that'll work better for my little brother. Yeah, it's good, you know. Sam, he charges hard at these loose tracks, so I'm definitely trying to chase him, and everybody else is, I think, today too. But yeah, it's good. We always want to beat each other, but we have to try to help each other out also.
Uh-oh.
Let's go places.
That sounds like a juicy fart.